We are going to be looking at some disturbing videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. There are a few things I do want to go ahead and talk about in today's video. For example, something odd happened to me for the past couple weeks now, but more and more people are also noticing this as well. But before I go ahead and get into that and other things, I do want to go ahead and talk about something interesting that has also come out involving this whole Charlie Kirk shooting. Who is this very interesting fellow right here? He seems to have connections to some very interesting events. Now, I wasn't going to go ahead and talk about this whole Charlie Kirk situation anymore, especially on this channel, but more and more people are talking about this individual right here, George Zinn, for good reason. Not too long after Charlie Kirk was shot, news and media has shown us this individual in handcuffs, but come to find out, well, check this video out right here.
Now, all you conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok, is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims? And Grok fact checks it and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says so, and it wouldn't give me an answer first. It said it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. Then we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
And not just that, he was also in a 9/11 documentary, which really gives this guy a actor vibe. When I first saw this man, his arrest, him saying shoot me, he really gave off the vibe of an actor.
We don't know if it's him or not.
And also, I am getting a lot of people leaving me comments talking about Charlie Kirk's ring and how the ring proves that the video could be AI. Now, the pushback I'm also seeing from a lot of other people is the fact that his ring is a hitch ring or something along the lines where it easily comes off and it could attach to the other finger. Now, personally, I do not know how, even if it is a hitch ring, this ring could perfectly fall and then land on the other finger. I don't know. I'm not an expert in hitch rings, but people are pointing to another video. Really quick, just to correct myself, it's a hinge ring, not a hitch ring. Don't know why I kept calling it a hitch ring, but like I said, people are pointing to another video that appears to have a very suspicious graphical anomaly, which shows a chair going through a table. So first, I'm going to go ahead and play the video footage at normal speed because I couldn't see it at first, and then I'm going to go ahead and slow the video footage down and zoom in. You don't even see the metal legs of the chair until the actual glitch occurs, and then you see the metal legs going through the table. So I don't know. I don't know if this is just an optical illusion that I'm missing that someone would need to explain to me, or something else altogether, but yeah, from what I'm looking at, it does look like some sort of AI glitch. Now, make no mistake about it, I'm not saying what took place that day was fake or AI. I just need somebody to explain that video clip to me. So we have a lot of back and forth on the internet where people are arguing whether actors or AI, or really both, were used in this event. But when it comes to me, I already made a video yesterday talking about how the number 33 played a significant role in this event. We even had the governor talking about the number 33, and soon after, you can see him smirk.
You know, this bad stuff happens, and for 33 hours. 33 hours.
So I don't know. I really don't know. But if there really is any events out there where AI and actors are being used, or both really are being used, we should really call it out. Like very recently, people called out Will Smith for using an AI audience at his concert. And what Will Smith did really needs to be exposed, because if Will Smith can do this, then what do you think the government can do with their technologies?
Will Smith posting a promotional video from his concerts after releasing a new album. It doesn't seem too out of the ordinary, but then the internet started noticing something unusual, with comments accusing the artist of using fake AI crowds. And you can see what they're talking about when you look up close, faces in the sea of fans appearing distorted and not quite right. We asked AI expert Hani Farid for a second opinion.
So there's no doubt that there is real footage in the video. There's also no doubt that there is some AI content, but even that has some nuance to it.
Some commenters confused, as other videos show Smith performing for large audiences. One person saying the fact that he's using AI to fake the crowd when he's actually playing in front of a pretty big crowd already is insane.
We think what happened is they took a still image from a real scene and then animated with AI for a few seconds. And so is it real or is it fake? A little bit of both.
And this really does play into a lot of events that are happening in the future, possible false flags, because they're really ramping up the talks about UFOs and aliens. If you weren't noticing, back in 2023, when it all started to first come out, it started with UFO sightings. It started with talking to the whistleblowers. 2 years later, Congress, the governments, they are showing us hostile events with aliens, with the government firing upon an orb, and this orb just negated this attack. And they are showing us this for a reason when they didn't have to. Now, it could be a distraction, or it could be a slow burn to a much bigger event, getting us slowly prepared for this false flag alien invasion. I mean, they're even calling this 3-Eye Atlas hostile aliens, and you have to ask yourself, how do they know they're hostile? Just very recently, when it came to the 3-Eye Atlas, when I thought they were now sure it was a quote-unquote comet, now they are saying that it's changing colors and the colors switched, like it's some kind of technology now. So there's definitely probably going to be a big event involving this 3-Eye Atlas, but rest assured, with this increase of alien and UFO talks from the government, it's for a reason. So yeah, when AI is being used to create large crowds, like in the case of Will Smith, it should be called out right away, and it was. But when there's an event that has a lot of emotions attached to it, it gets harder and harder to call these things out. But it should still be questioned at the end of the day, in the day and age of AI. I mean, that's not me saying it. Even Donald Trump said that anything bad happens, they can just blame AI. And the flip side is also true. They can also create things with AI and not blame AI.
If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI.
And like I have said previously in other videos, we really do not know what events that had taken place in the past are even real. And if they are real, maybe they didn't play out in the way that we think they did. It is my personal opinion that AI, for the so-called powers that be anyway, is ancient. It's ancient technology. You also have to think about the other news that has come out, how YouTube and other platforms are upscaling videos during the processing of these videos to make now all videos look fake and AI. So you have to ask yourself, what's the reasoning behind that, making even real videos look like AI? You also got to think too about all the oddities that has occurred prior to this shooting. I mean, there's been news that has come out about another prediction that was made. First, there was the TikTok account talking about how on Twitter, Charlie Kirk's team posted about him passing away only days prior to the shooting. And then we had a book come out on September 9th titled The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, detailing the events of September 10th, but this book was published at Amazon on September 9th. And now we have a singer, this Utah singer, who's a one-person band, who made a song that was titled Charlie Kirk Dead at 31, only a month prior to him passing away. So there's just a lot of suspicious things at play here. So because we know that AI is being heavily used in our daily lives, there's nothing wrong whatsoever with questioning certain events, because we know there's more events to come where AI may or may not play a role. And a lot of people that give pushback, yes, there's real people out there that don't believe in conspiracy theories, that take what news and media are telling them to heart. But a lot of people that we argue with too on the internet, even if we just ask questions, all we're doing is asking questions, we're instantly called conspiracy theorists and told not to ask any questions whatsoever. And we don't know if those could possibly be bots. I used this video in a video I made months ago, and it really still makes a lot of sense today, given the fact of the dead internet theory and so forth.
Traffic is fake. And all of this is coming from Chinese phone farms. So the people that you're arguing online with about different things such as politics and city rules, well, it's all fake. And it's probably just a robot. These phone farms usually have tens of thousands of phones that are connected to one computer that's controlling all of them. The way it works is that the people who run this typically take the batteries out of all these phones and then connect all the motherboards together in order to monitor it on one computer. And then with the use of AI, they're able to generate responses across social media, making it seem like they're coming from a real person when in fact it's just one big computer. I don't think you guys understand how sophisticated this actually is, because each phone represents one person, but yet it's all connected to one computer that literally controls all of them. 1/3 of all internet traffic is fake.
The Bible makes it clear when you argue with a fool, you become just like them, especially to be the bigger person, move in wisdom, and walk away. People don't even understand they're arguing with AIs nowadays.
This video is so true, and it goes back to what I've been talking about in the past couple of my videos about we don't know what's real and what's fake, and we spend a lot of our time going back and forth with individuals on the internet, and these individuals that we're giving our energy to, those that we're going back and forth with, might not be real people at all. And, in some of my videos, I just lay out a lot of information.
But tell me why Peter Thiel and Sam Altman are all building gigantic underground bunkers. Here's some information on it. Zuckerboy has like 2,000 acres in Hawaii, and he's building a 5,000 square foot underground bunker. It's probably the nicest of all three of these people. Peter Thiel has a ranch in New Zealand, and he has a gigantic underground forest lodge bunker with a bunch of stuff stockpiled. Arguably the creepiest of all three, Sam Altman, the owner of OpenAI, has stockpiled guns, gold, gas, antibiotics, and has a getaway ranch. A little bit sketchy. Let me know in the comments if you think it's option A, they're just super rich and bored and they're building the adult version of a treehouse, or option B, they know that the robots are taking over and they need a safe place for themselves and their families and don't care what happens to other people. Let me know in the comments, give me a follow, save this post because I'll be covering a lot of topics like this.
So for the past couple weeks, I have been noticing something pretty weird. Now, this may have been going on before then, but this is the first time I really started to notice this. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was at the movies and a trailer came on for a new movie called Black Phone 2. And I did not say this out loud. I did not search this in my phone. I just thought to myself how similar this movie looked to A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it made me want to watch the classics again with Robert Englund. And I also thought, was he going to reprise his role one day and return as Freddy? That's all I thought. So a few hours later, I get home, I take out my phone, and I'm browsing TikTok. Now, generally, my algorithm will show me nothing but news-related content and people that I follow that I like a lot. So about a minute or two later, as I'm scrolling, I come across a video of somebody doing a movie review on Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Prior to that, I can't tell you the last time I saw something on my algorithm that wasn't news-related content or something along those lines. People talking about conspiracy theories and so forth. I even told my wife about this because I was really weirded out, but I chalked it up as a quote-unquote coincidence. And then a week later, I was thinking about something else. I can't remember what I was thinking about, but it was something that just came across my mind I haven't thought about in years. Again, did not search it up, did not speak about it out loud. And as I'm browsing YouTube, I happen to run across it in an ad. And I said, this just happened to me a week ago. Now, the reason why I'm making a video on this topic happens to be because I did not search anything about this to see if something like this was happening to anybody else. Nothing like that. I did say it out loud to my wife. And then today, I happen to run across this individual's video talking about this exact same subject.
Is anybody else experiencing this? I'm experiencing this thing where, like, we all know if you say something into your phone, the mic picks it up and it gets the information you're talking about and puts you in the algorithm of that subject matter, right? We've all noticed that, right? But have y'all gotten to the point where you don't even have to speak on it? You can just think about it and you're in the algorithm. You're in getting ads or promotions to that subject matter you were just thinking about. And I've kind of tested this a few times, unintentionally though, but I thought about something that I haven't thought about in years and years. I haven't seen on TikTok. I haven't seen on anything in years, but I think about it, right? And suddenly I'm in that algorithm. Every other video is that subject matter. Am I the only one experiencing this? Or is everybody else experiencing, like, it seems like these phones can tell what we're thinking and they throw us in the algorithm of that?
So I took a look at his comment section to see maybe if people would troll him or disagree with him or say that he's crazy, something along those lines. But come to find out, a lot of people actually agreed with him that this is happening to them too. For example, this person said, "My phone reads my mind. I have documented this for over 2 years. People think I am nuts, but it happens. And it is always some random thought I had not verbalized, not searched, just thought, super random stuff." And that's the case with something like this. Like, I can sit here and force myself to think about a TV show or a steak, a food I haven't eaten in quite a while, and it will not come up on my algorithm. But if I'm deep in thought about something or lost in my thoughts and I think about something randomly I have not thought about in years, then for whatever reason, it will appear on my phone. And while I find this to be very weird, it's not surprising one bit. It is not surprising one bit, given the fact that we are breathing in smart dust, nanoparticles, and so forth. And a lot of the technology we use every day, like headphones, more specifically, Apple headphones, have patents designed to spy on people's brains.
US 20230225659A1. That is earbuds that are designed and patented by Apple to literally read your brainwaves, record your brainwaves. Did you know that? Holy smokes. You're not going to believe what these guys have the control to do with these. Check this out. The patent is for a biosignal sensing device using dynamic selection of electrodes. This is absolutely Apple. It is 2023 and it gets not good. Brain activity can be monitored using electrodes placed on the scalp of a user. The electrodes may in some case be placed inside or around the outer ear of the user. Measuring the brain activity using electrodes placed in and around the outer ear may be preferred due to benefits such as reduced device mobility and decreased visibility of the electrodes when compared to other devices. And it goes on. And look, it says, for accurate measurement of brain activity using an ear electroencephalography, oh my God, ear electroencephalography, EEG device, the ear EEG device may need to be customized for the user's ear. So it's talking about different sizes, and it gets worse. When you go down into the components of the patent details of how this thing is made, it says the tip, part 202, may be made of any material such as plastic, rubber, conductive material, silicone, or a mixture of these. In some embodiments, the housing underneath the tip 202 may be made of any kind of metal, ceramic, glass, plastic material, or a mixture of these. And the earpiece, part 202, is the silicone part that you actually put inside your ear. So they're saying that all those little dots and the silicone piece, the earbud, and it even goes on to say this little metal piece on the end, on the stem that comes down, is all used to capture and record your EEG brainwave activity. It even goes on in the patent and says how the left ear and the right ear, one can be the transmitter, one can be the receiver. It doesn't matter which one, and they have the rights to make it whichever one. And what it will do is through the conduction through your skin and contact with your skin, when you put the earbuds in, they can read your mind. They can read your brainwaves, and they can map out your brainwaves with Apple earbuds. Measurements of brain activity using an ear electroencephalography device, an ear EEG device, may need to be customized for a user's ear. In some embodiments, the selection of one or more activity or reference electrodes may be performed using a machine learning based model. The machine learning based model may be configured to select one or more active electrodes. So basically, if you don't have perfect contact in your ear, the machine learning can adjust itself and it can apply power or things to different areas of the ear so that it can have the best contact no matter what the physical distance between the touching point and the ear is. So they're saying, even if it's not put in your ear very good, they want the models to be able to still perform the job. The earbud may be used to measure biosignal, for example, an EEG for measuring brain activity as described earlier. A current available earbud measuring the EEG may include an active electrode on the tip 102. It shows all of the images of your earbuds and how the silicone tip of it is actually an EEG brainwave monitoring system. It shows how they can integrate, blend into the silicone in either rings like this. They can even split it up into different slots like this to get the same effect, or even the one that has all the little holes in the silicone.
So while many of us may find this weird, at the end of the day, it's not surprising one bit that when we're lost deep in thought about something, about an hour, 2 hours later, it'll appear on our phone because of everything we're breathing in, everything we're connecting onto ourselves. We're basically walking technology that our phones and other technology can just signal off of. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, because any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.